Hello, everyone, and welcome this morning. So, my name is Jyoti Kaur, and I have been a body talk practitioner for the last 15 years. And I've also been teaching Kundalini Yoga for the last 13 years. So, this is really the basis of the work that I do. And today, I'd like to share with you the research that has been done through neuroscience that really backs up now what we call psychoneuroimmunology. And this is really about how our beliefs, how our emotions affect our physiology, and how this incredible work that I do can change you deeply on a cellular level and really help you to come out of trauma or anything it is that you may be experiencing through your physical body, but also your emotions or your relationships. So, just to give you a little bit of a background for myself, um, so I was pregnant 17 years ago now, and I was actually in an abusive relationship. At the time, I wasn't really able to admit it, despite the fact that I was going to counselling and they were saying to me, this is domestic abuse. And I was so fixated on wanting to have a family that it was very, very hard for me to absorb that information. But I was in an incredible amount of physical and emotional pain in that situation. And I had a back injury when I was 15. So I had a horse riding accident. And then when I was 12 years old, I was also diagnosed with a scoliosis. So I already had challenges in my spine. But my emotional state exacerbated the pain massively in my back. And then this pain would radiate into other areas of my body. And so during this time when I was pregnant, when I was going through this really terrible time and I was suffering, I was really heading towards a breakdown. The pain was exacerbated hugely through my body. And I was just very, very fortunate to move next door to a body talk practitioner and started having sessions with her. And there was an incredible change, not only in my physical pain levels, but also the way that I was perceiving myself, perceiving the situation, and perceiving the world. And I mean, I've been doing this work for a long time now, but I always also continue to have body talk sessions um, and Acuconnect sessions, which is what I'm also going to be talking about today, to really unravel what it is that's going on at a cellular level, because everything, both the mind and the body, are, excuse me about my dog, the mind and the body are connected, and we cannot separate the two. So if you've got physical pain in the body, there is going to be a root of that in the subconscious. And this really has been my life's journey, is unraveling that. And that can be on every level. So we could be working on an ancestral level. And one of the things that came up for me was really, as I've started to understand my ancestry, that for me, that there was this energy of a lack of joy that my ancestors carried, and that also was blocking me from being able to feel that and experience it in my life. And there's just been this gentle unwinding over the years. My body shape has changed. I'm able to stand up straighter. The scoliosis is still there, but it's not exacerbated in the same way. I mean, when I was about before I even came into body talk, actually, I went to see a chiropractor and he said he hadn't seen a back that bad in 20 years. I mean, there was like so many complications that were going on. So really what I want to talk to you about today is that my work is changing. So after 15 years of doing body talk, I am now integrating that with another system called Acuconnect. And this is a system that is derived by someone called Dr. Don Kaimi. And he was an acupuncturist and a Chinese herbalist. He also was one of my body talk instructors all those years ago. And he has created his own system, which is very, very similar to body talk. But it has a different quality of the energy. It connects us more to our source energy, and it brings much greater clarity to the body mind in the way that I'm working. And I'm just finding that I'm getting supercharged sessions with clients. And I just want to share this with you and for you to really understand the power of mind, body, energy medicine, which is what it is that I practice and what these systems are. So just to give you a little bit of a background about AccuNect, which also works on the similar principles to Body Talk as well, that you know, our bodies have a natural healing ability. It's always there. It's within every cell of the body, and healing is our natural state. But it's like all the stresses that we go through and the traumas and all the difficulties that we face in our life get stored up in the physical body if we don't process it properly. And what tends to happen is that we have patterns of behavior and emotional patterns that then push these into the tissues of the body that start to create dis-ease. AccuNect is a complete healing system, and it works on drawing together the principles of acupuncture and Chinese medicine, which is what also Body Talk is founded in as well. But it also draws on quantum physics. So it's this observer principle that when you start to observe something, just by bringing your observation, this then starts to create a change. I don't know if you've ever practiced being able to just sit. If you have a pain in your body or even emotion, there is this wonderful practice. If you just bring yourself to the body and feel the sensations, which is what I teach very much in Kundalini Yoga, and you just stay with the sensations of whatever it is that's arising, just by bringing your observation, you start to create a change. That energy starts to dissipate. It might move, it might change its form in some way, but it does start to change. And this is the power of observation. It's really an amazing, incredible tool. And as quantum physics and science starts to catch up with this, then there's a greater understanding about these principles and how they affect our health and our beliefs and our life. So the AccuNext session, it draws all of these, it brings all of these things into it. Acupuncture, Chinese medicine principles, quantum physics, the observer principle, the connection between the mind, the body, and the spirit. So it's like really drawing on these ancient principles as well, that have been around for thousands of years. And it's also drawing on certain aspects of applied kinesiology. So we use a muscle checking system. We're actually tuning into the energy field of a client, and picking up information. And AccuNect and Body Talk are both tools that promote transformation deep on a cellular level. So when we start to work on creating changes on every level of the being, so that is through your subconscious, through your mind, through your emotions, but also working within the physical body. For example, if you have back pain and we start to unravel, go into the back and start to unravel what may be there in a muscle or what is held in a vertebra, or even if you have stomach pain, going into the stomach to see what's there, as you start to unravel on all of these different levels, this is when you start to create very, very profound change in a person's health and well-being. And the shifts don't just happen through the physical body, they start to happen in that person's perception, in the way that they are relating to themselves and the way that they relate to the world. And I see this over and over and over again with clients that come to me. They have a specific symptom, but when you start to unravel it on all of those different levels, change happens on every single level of their being through the body mind. This is why it's such a profound healing. So it's really bringing these amazing changes on your physical, your mental, emotional, and also your spirit level. And, you know, we don't just have a physical body, we are an energetic being. And according to the yogic scriptures, we have 72,000 energy pathways that flow through the body. We also have a chakra system and we have 12 energy bodies. And our emotions and the way that we think can affect the flow of this energy through the body that starts to create tension and dis-ease within the tissues of the body that create illness. So there's certain principles about AccuNext that I'd like to just tell you about today. So first of all, the first one is that our perception of reality is really based on our past experience. So, you know, you can have 5 people observing a car accident, and those 5 people will have a completely different perspective of what happened. And that's because we are filtering our reality through our past experience. We all have different histories. Therefore, we have different beliefs. We hold different emotions, and they filter the information that comes through for us to be able to perceive things in a particular way. So reality really is based on our perception. And that is why you can have 5 people having a very, very different experiences in the same setup. Also, neuroscience, particularly people like Bruce Lipton, where he wrote his book, The Biology of Belief, and also Candace Pert, who wrote her book, The Molecules of Emotion. We now know that our beliefs change our physiology. And there's been many studies that have been done with people that have multiple personality disorder, and that one personality can be expressing a disease such as diabetes, and then when they switch into the other personality, they don't have it. Or one personality has cancer, the other personality does not. One can have very, very severe allergies, and the other personality doesn't. And this is all because of a state of mind. So it's quite incredible when you start to think about health and well-being is really determined by your state of mind. And when you start to change your state of mind, everything begins to change. What's unique about Body Talk and AccuNect is that we are working right down on a cellular level. Your mind is an energy field, and that energy field radiates out around your whole body. But that energy field also is around the cell of every, is an energy field around every cell in your body. And so that energy field holds information, which is then influencing the way that that cell responds to its environment and responds to each other within your body. When you start to change your mind, you change that energy field, that starts to then change the information that gets filtered down to a cellular level. And it's really that simple. So just want to talk to you a little bit about epigenetics. So there is a science now, this has been happening for the last 10, 15 years, that understanding that actually our genetic code is flexible, it's not set, and that our genetic code is all the time adapting to our environment. So if you have lived in a very stressful environment for a long time, say that you was brought up in a family where there was a lot of trauma, your body will have been adjusting to that over many years, and the adrenals will be pumping out stress hormones. Your amygdala is going to be on high alert. You're going to be pumping these stress hormones through the body. This will be bringing your immune system down. Your nervous system will be on high alert. So all of your systems in the body will be primed for danger. And that you will also be having certain core beliefs about the world, that maybe the world is dangerous, that you are not safe, that you are alone, or that nobody will protect you, or that you are not worthy of love. So these core beliefs are also influencing your physiology. And epigenetics, really, epi just means on top of the gene. And so there's like these markers, epigenetic markers, that are like an instruction on top of the gene. And it's telling the genes to either switch something on or switch something off. So if you are switching something on, it's really opening up the RNA, which is a copy of the DNA, which is a protein that tells the body to make something, like, for example, a stress hormone. Your body's like, okay, I'm in danger. I need to be in survival mode. And so therefore we need to make a lot of epinephrine, for example. And so that gets locked into your epigenome on top of your genes, telling your body then to create stress hormones. And this can go on for years and years and years. So many, many years after the event, you can still be pumping out stress hormones. You cannot sleep because your body's like, okay, I'm in danger. So I don't want to be falling deeply asleep. I need to be alert. So then maybe you haven't slept well for years. And this then has a domino effect on all the other systems of the body, including your digestive system, your ability to remember or learn new information, your ability to regulate your nervous system in life generally. And this is all because of this exposure to these prolonged situations. But you can also be carrying epigenetic markers from your ancestors. So your ancestors could have been in war. They could have had some major trauma, and this can go back many generations. They're now finding that actually trauma can go back 25 generations, and that is in your DNA. It's on top of, it's epigenetics on the top of the DNA. And so your body is programmed into a particular way to deal with your environment. And that can be affecting you today. So it's like, how do we work on being able to unlock this? Well, we have these amazing simple tools within AccuNet, within Body Talk, to actually start to unravel that. When we start to change the subconscious programming, when we start to clear the emotions, the beliefs, and we can work right down into a cellular level in the body and change that energy field around the cell, we can change the epigenetics, we can switch it off, and you can start to notice that then you become more regulated, your sleep improves, you can feel calmer, you're less reactive, maybe you're less angry, you have more of yourself available to you. So this is just really incredible that actually our minds and our beliefs really do affect our physiology and the way that we relate to the world around us. And the other principle about AccuNect is that we are all connected to the 0 point field. And the 0 point field is a field of information. And that is available to us all the time. You know, this is when you go into a deep meditation and you get a download or you get inspiration coming through. This is from the 0 point field. Some people call it the Akasha. Some people call it universal consciousness, and some people call it the 0 point field. But basically, it's a field of information that is always available to us. And from the yogic teachings, we talk about it being the ether element. The ether element holds the information of everything that is manifested or unmanifested, as a point of information that can come through. So what's amazing is that the blueprint of your physical body is held in this field of information. So when something is dysfunctioning, it's not functioning well within inside of you. I don't know, for example, if you've got digestive issues, gut problems, maybe all your gut microbiome is out of sync. And this could be because you're holding a emotion or a belief that's there that's then causing the microbes to be out of balance. I mean, we've got more microbes in our body than we have our own genes. So, you know, we are taught to be scared of germs, but actually we're made up of more microbes and germs than we have of our own cells, which is quite amazing. I think I can't remember the figures now, but I think it's like 13 trillion microbes in the body, which outweighs the numbers of genetic material that we have. And we actually have more genetic code from these microbes than our own genetic code, and they are there to support us. But actually, this microbiome is very fragile and gets influenced by the way that we think and the way that we feel and the way that we then also relate to our environment. So if we are holding these beliefs on a gut level, then we can start getting we can get dysbiosis, we can get candida, we can get leaky gut, all of these physical symptoms, but the root of it comes from the way in which we're relating to the world. And we can start to change that at a blueprint level. We can connect into this universal field of information, and there is the blueprint for a healthy microbiome. And we can then bring that information into the physical body, and we can anchor that in as a new suggestion. So the body has an intelligence. Every cell in your body has a mode of thinking. For example, the pancreas has to think about how much insulin it needs to release in order to keep your blood sugar level. Your small intestine has to think about, what do I take in as nutrients and what do I let go of that is waste? It has to think that. So there is an aspect of your mind in every cell of your body, in every body part. And when your thinking goes awry, perhaps you don't have such good boundaries and you don't have the discernment to know what is a healthy relationship or what is not a healthy relationship. Do I allow this person into my life or do I not? If that discernment is off on a subconscious level or energetic level in you, that is going to affect your gut and your body's ability to know what is nourishing to me, what do I take in as nutrients, and what is it that I let go of waste. And that can be on every level. That can be to do with your susceptibility to toxins in your environment. You know, we can have two people in a toxic environment. Why is one person more susceptible than the other? And that can be to do with your discernment. That comes from your subconscious mind. Your experiences in your childhood, your ancestral experiences can set up your boundaries, and that can include your energetic boundaries. So it may be that you're really susceptible to viruses, for example, or to toxins, or to toxic relationships. This all comes from the subconscious, and it filters down into your physical body. So when we're working with clients, we're looking at you as a whole person, and we start to create those changes. Okay, we need to work with the discernment. Where are your the weaknesses in the energetic boundaries? That's going to filter down. It's going to start to strengthen the gut. It's going to help the microbiome. But we're tuning into this universal field of information, and it's like reminding the body of its intelligence, because that intelligence is there within every single cell. Within each cell, there is the potential for health, and there is the potential for sickness. And that is there as a potential in every moment. If we have negative thoughts and negative beliefs about ourselves, we are creating that potential for sickness within each cell of the body. If we have loving thoughts and healthy beliefs about the world, the cells of the body can support us, including energy production. So, you know, it's like the mitochondria of the cell has an intelligence of how to produce energy to support you. If you're holding beliefs, I'm not worthy of being supported, I'm not worthy of being loved, that can then translate into the way in which the cell functions, and you can start to have things like chronic fatigue. So it's like we're really looking at all of these principles. You cannot separate mind from the body, you cannot separate your beliefs from your physiology. So as a practitioner, we are really observing, first of all, where are the imbalances. We're looking at you as a whole person, and we're really looking at, okay, where's the imbalance? But where is this person ready to let go of? What is it that's ready to shift? And what is ready to be better? It's like, remember that your potential for wellness and health in every cell of the body is really an expression of the mind. What is it that the person is ready in this moment to let go of? And it's like peeling an onion. So as a practitioner, we're holding space, we're observing, we're bringing that observer principle, which in itself is a very, very powerful tool. And then we're bringing what's there, that may be out of balance, into the conscious mind, for the conscious mind to be able to then start to process it. Maybe there's a memory that goes back to childhood of when you didn't get your needs met, and that's held in a cellular level. It could be in the gut, it could be in the spine, wherever it is, you know, that you have symptoms. It could be in the shoulders, for example, and that we are then observing that imbalance. Okay, there is an aspect of you that's ready to let this go, which is absolutely amazing. This is when we really get profound shifts, and we bring it into the from the subconscious to the conscious mind, and we let it go. And then we are bringing a new suggestion into that area of the body mind. And what we're really doing is that we're bringing blood, and we're bringing chi, life force. So when you're holding memories, beliefs, emotions in particular areas of the body, including your energy field that affects your physical body, this affects the flow of the blood, and it affects the flow of the chi, the life force. What we're doing is opening that up. We're clearing what's there. We're bringing a new, fresh look for the body mind, to bring more blood, to bring more chi, to bring more nourishment to that area. The body then starts to remember, oh, yes, this is how I'm supposed to function. And then the body does its own healing. Really, this is so simple and so profound. I've done this for the last 15 years. Worked with hundreds of people, including myself, you know, my own healing journey, coming through a lot of physical, emotional pain, and just this incredible shifts that can happen. So once we have observed where the imbalances are, where we've brought that into the subconscious, we just facilitate that change on every level of the client's being. So just looking at the principles then of Acuconnect, which also relate very much to Body Talk, is that first of all, healing is natural. It is your natural state to heal. And some few interesting facts. Firstly, your blood is completely changed every 120 days. Your skin changes every 30 days, completely renewed every 30 days. It's really incredible, isn't it? The liver is completely transformed with it every week. And oh, I can't read my writing with the other one. But anyway, this just gives you an idea of like this amazing healing capacity that our physical body has. And you know, the body is constantly renewing itself all the time. But why do we then have problems that persist for years and years and years? Because of cellular memory. It's locked in. It's locked in an epigenetic level. It's locked in through our emotions, our mind. So when we start to work on all of those levels, we can start to shift it. The body begins to heal because it's its natural state. And stress distorts both our mind and our physical body. So, you know, we're coming back to that principle again, that actually it's our perception that creates our reality. When we are perceiving something, you know, as a stressful situation, that then has this knock-on effect on our physiology. But you can have two people living in a house next to a railway line, and one person finds the trains going past is fascinating or comforting, and the other person gets really, really stressed by it. So the person that's getting stressed by their perception of this then is going to have more health issues than the person that feels relaxed, right? This just makes sense. And so it's like the stress distorts the energy through the mind and distorts the energy through the body. And so our misconceptions about our reality is really what creates disease. When we start to change our beliefs, like if we have fear of our environment, for example, then or beliefs like the world is not safe, we're likely to have food allergies. We're likely to be more susceptible to illnesses, like our immune system won't be functioning so well. You know, the consciousness of the immune system is, I am worthy of being looked after. I am worthy of living my life's potential and being nourished. If you're holding beliefs subconsciously around all of those things, it's going to be affecting your ability on so many different levels to absorb food, to be able to tune into your environment in a healthy way. So really these misconceptions, our perception, is what is at the root of our health issues. And when you start to clear that, everything changes. So all consciousness is connected to the 0 point field, this field of information. And really, you know, if you start looking into quantum physics and on the basis of neuroscience, everything is just consciousness, really. You know, energy has a consciousness, your life force energy has a consciousness, the cells of your body has a consciousness. When you start to work on that level, you get profound changes. And so therefore, healing really comes from a change of awareness of your inner reality. You change your inner reality, everything changes, a ripple effect. Your relationships change, your relationship with the environment changes, your relationship with your physical body changes, everything start to change. Our body is 70% water. And so, you know, and water holds memory. I just was watching this amazing woman called Vida Austin on Instagram, and she was putting water in a Petri dish over pictures, over words, freezing it, taking photographs, similar to the work of Izuru Emoto, where he photographed the water crystals. But she was getting pictures. So she had a Petri dish over the picture of a ballet dancer, and the water held the memory of that ballet dancer. And then you can see incredible photographs that come up on Instagram, Vida Austin. It just shows you that our body holds memory. We are 70% water, and whatever we are thinking imprints into the cell in our bodies. So, and water is communication. So it's also communicating that consciousness to every cell. So this is why I like yoga, meditation, really, really important to change our mindset. But also this mode of healing at Connect Body Talk is so profound. So I just want to just talk to you just quickly about a few things. I don't want to talk for so long today, but just to give you a few examples. For example, chronic fatigue. Often chronic fatigue is linked to the Epstein-Barr virus. And, you know, for sure, Epstein-Barr and viruses can be linked into chronic fatigue symptoms, but that's not the only reason. So the reason why somebody is susceptible to these viruses in the first place is because of an aspect of mind. Again, it comes back to beliefs, it comes back to emotions, it comes back to our life experience. And so we have to look at that level. So when I'm working with people that have chronic fatigue, okay, yes, we might be clearing viruses out of the body, but we need to look at what is creating that susceptibility. Firstly, chronic worry. So the spleen in Chinese medicine extracts food or extracts qi, life force, from our food and sends it to the heart and to the lungs to be distributed through the body as nourishment, as qi. If you have chronic worry, even if it's subconsciously, and you're a bit of a worry wart, and you're always anxious, or even subconsciously you're worrying about things, this in turn stops your ability to absorb qi from your food, which means that the cells of the body come depleted. And then also your beliefs will be affecting your ability to for your immune system to function properly. So you're going to be susceptible to virus like Epstein-Barr, and that is why then you're going to keep perpetuating the cycle. So when I work with people with chronic fatigue, we're working with the spleen energy, we're working with subconscious worries, we're working with the immune system, and we're also working with viruses. But again, we're looking at the whole person. The liver. So why is it that some people are more toxic than others? And I've come across people in my practice who are unable to detoxify safely. There's issues with the liver. Well, the liver has like 500 different functions within the body mind. That's just on a physical level. But on an energetic level, the liver is to do with planning. It's to do with organizing things. So if somebody's very chaotic, it can be because their liver is toxic. As you start to clean the liver up and you start to clear up their perception of the world, for example, overwhelm or beliefs that they can't express their emotions, for example, that they can all compound into the liver, then they start to become tidier and more organized in their life, and they become less toxic in their body. It's so far-reaching, this work. It's really incredible. The small intestine I've talked about in relationship to discernment and allergies and digestive issues, acid reflux, this inability to absorb nutrients. All of that comes from a discernment around the way in which you interact with the world. And this even might be subconsciously. So we have 1,000 thoughts a second. We only filter some of those, and those are the ones that fit our belief about the world. So what we want to be doing is working at a subconscious level, because we can be thinking, oh well, I'm fine, I'm not worrying, but underneath the surface, in the subconscious, there can be all of these beliefs and all of these thoughts. And beliefs are thoughts that you have had over and over and over again on a subconscious level that builds a very, very strong energy field within the body mind. And that energy can take over a part of the body and then start to influence the physiology. So again, we have to work on every level in order to be able to create change. I've talked about PTSD in relationship to the epigenetics, and really creating very, very deep changes in physical chronic pain, because that can be linked to PTSD, and also these beliefs about the world, but also nervous system regulation. We can rewire the nervous system. We know now that around neuroplasticity, it is possible, and Connect and Body Talk can help with that profoundly. I've worked with many, many people over the years that have really deep trauma, and just within a few sessions, they start to notice really big changes in themselves, in the way that they feel about themselves, but also the way that they feel in the world. And I've also talked about the immune system. So the immune system, we've got lots of different aspects of the immune system. We've got the barriers like the skin, coming through the nose, the different, the microbiome in the mouth, for example, in like the different orifices and the microbes there. We've also got our adaptive immune system that creates inflammation, things like that. And All of that is directed by our beliefs and our emotions. And we know that now. So when you have an emotional response to something, you are releasing neuropeptides. And neuropeptides is a molecule that actually circulates around the body and clips into receptors. This is why emotions become addictive, because the body is producing more and more receptors for you to produce more and more of that emotion. So you can get stuck in a negative loop with these things. We can start to clear that pattern on a cellular level and on a subconscious level so that you're not stuck in that same pattern, and also start to help you have a healthier relationship with emotions. And, you know, for example, anger, it's there to help us to put down boundaries and to also express our needs. So it's not wrong. These emotions are not wrong, but they just come out of balance. It's the same with the emotion of worry. Worry needs to be in the digestive system, helping us to digest our food, digest our emotions, digest our life experience. If we have too much worry or we have a shock of some kind, that energy comes too much into the mind. It takes the energy out of the digestive system. We can't digest our food properly. We can feel sick. We can feel nauseous. We can have too many repeating thoughts in the mind. But actually, worry, when it's in balance, it helps us to digest our life and our life experience. So every emotion in the body mind has a positive role. We can work with you bringing that into balance. So we can work on so many different levels, but really it's about changing your perception and your misconceptions and the stresses and how that distorts your reality and how that distorts the functioning of your body mind, and then bringing you back into that natural intelligence. And when we're connecting back into that natural intelligence, your body can heal on every level. Really, it's an incredible system. If you'd like to know more about it, then please get in contact with me. I'm offering free half-an-hour consultations to really just talk about the issues that you might have and how it can help you. But please get in contact. And I'm so passionate about this work. Please tell your friends, watch this video, and I really hope to hear from you. If you have any questions, please post these below the on the group. You can also contact me through my website, thegoldenlight.co.uk. I've just got a comment here from Harshika. Truly amazing. Body talk is truly excellent. I've experienced it. Thank you. Yeah, it works on so many levels with whatever it is that may be presenting, a physical, mental, emotional issue. It can transform. Your destiny is not set. Thank you so much for listening today. I really hope that you have found it informative, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.